books necessary for business growth? Hi, I'm Brian Pombo. Welcome back to Brian J. Pombo Live. I talk a lot about books that I like, ones that I've ran into through the years, ones that I've reread over again, and I do that a lot on this channel, but uh, it's done with a rather assumptive attitude, as if you already know why books are a good thing to have when it comes to business success. Are they necessary? Absolutely not. I mean, there are a lot of people that have been successful in business through the years that have not been voracious readers and have flaunted the fact that they don't read much when it comes to books or success books or what have you. And that's all fine and good. What I've found, though, across the board, is that if a person is not achieving the successes that they're looking for or would like to go to another level, books help to take you to that next step, because it just helps you to change your mindset to be able to do what you got to do. Sometimes you just got to hear someone who's already been through it, or hear of people that have already been through it. So whether you're reading a biography or an autobiography, those are two of the best places to go to find people that you relate with and to see what they did to get from point A to point B. These are all very useful. Now, most of the people I talk to on this podcast, on these videos and audios, are people who are already successful to some extent or another. And so I want to talk to you also here and not just make this just for people who are searching for business success, but people who have already achieved some success. And that there's two things I recommend doing. Number one, even if you are not, if you have never been a reader and have achieved success, I'm going to recommend that you also spend some time to look for material that's helpful, not just to you, but to other people. You see, no matter what, you've probably have employees, or you have people that you work with, you may have vendors, partners, or may have partners in the future. And you're going to find people that don't naturally think the way you think. Now, that could be the way you were raised or the way you weren't raised. You may have been isolated to a lot of the stinking thinking that a whole lot of us grow up with. And in that case, you have to realize that most people just don't think the way you do naturally. And that's okay. It doesn't mean that it's impossible for them to think any better. It is possible for them to think better. It is possible for them to drop a whole lot of the mythology that most of us walk around with in our heads that just isn't true and that holds us back in life. I mean, I'm not just talking success, but success it's a great example of where you can see this happening, of how people shoot themselves in the foot over and over again with just stupid ideas that they grew up with in their heads. That's a great importance of books. I'm holding here, this is I've shown this to you before, this is the unedited 1937 text of Think and Grow Rich. You can get these out there now. I think I got this off Amazon or something. And they've got a couple different versions. They also have a hardback version, I believe, of the same one. And I wish I would have gotten that one. I have some friends that have gotten the other one. I'm currently part of a book club. Now, this is an older book, lots of, especially this version of it, lots of politically incorrect terminology and everything else, and the thought patterns and ideas, cultural ideas from that time, which are obsolete. But the principles in the book are are very much something that you need to consider. Whether you agree with them or disagree with them, there's something you ought to challenge yourself with and ask yourself whether you've used these to be able to be successful, or whether you know other people who have, or whether you think somebody who doesn't have these principles in their life could get use out of them. And the only way you're going to know that is by reading the darn book, or by picking up an audiobook copy of it or whatever else. But you gotta familiarize yourself with these ideas, because you can help other people. And by helping other people, you'll be helping yourself, because you can surround yourself with smarter people just by taking the people you're surrounded with and helping bring them up a little bit. And that's not an elitist concept, but it is something that everybody could use more of, and people could use encouragement to be able to think better. And this is one of those books that is it's still controversial to this day, and there's still ideas in here that I don't fully wrap my mind around, especially the way that it's presented in this book. He uses Napoleon Hill uses very flowery language and everything else, and it's not that accessible, but it's not so backwards that it's unimaginable. So it's worth challenging yourself, if nothing else, that you get some of these classics and you read them. They're inexpensive now. In many cases, you could find this stuff free online because a lot of these, I mean, there's still debate over it, but a lot of the stuff, the trademarks and so forth, have ran out on. So it's worth checking out. I'm in a book club currently where we are reading one chapter at a time over a 2 week period daily. The idea is that you read the chapter every single day for 2 weeks on end, and we talk about it on a weekly basis. We get together on a Zoom call and talk about this. Doing that type of thing can also encourage you because you get to hear how other people see it. You get to be open about the things that you don't understand, and it's really a useful tool. If you can find people that are doing this online, it's worth looking into. Books matter because they hold a lot of these ideas and put it out in a very systematic way so that it can be digested easily. Now, there's other ways to be able to take in information, but there's just something about taking it in through the eyes that's extremely useful. And like I said, if you don't have that option, you could listen to an audiobook or what have you, and you can still get something out of it. But repetition and really digging into something is a lot of fun, as long as you don't take it too seriously and you try to apply the principles back to your life as quickly as possible so that you could see whether it works or whether it doesn't work or whether it's a bunch of hooey. So hopefully that's helpful to you. That's one of the things that I highly recommend, that even if it's not for you, think about it for those around you. Maybe you have children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, other people you work with that you can pass on a little bit of wisdom. Doesn't need to be yours. So I'll be back tomorrow night. Go check out my book, A Little Tiny Piece of Wisdom. Oh, I hope it's wisdom that that I put together a little over a couple of years now. 9 ways to Amazon proof your business. You can get a free copy at amazonproofbook.com. We'll be back here tomorrow night. In the meantime, get out there and let the magic happen.